and welcome to the America Makes booth here at Rapid Plus TCT. My name is Josh Cramer, Director of Education and Workforce Development here at America Makes. I have Chad here from ToolingU SME, a great mentor. Chad and I have known each other for a long time. Used to work actually at SME and the Education Foundation years ago. Chad, welcome and thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And Chad, can you share with us a little bit? I mean, obviously we're in the America Makes booth. You know, great partnership, you know, great relationship over the last several years. We talked to Janine Kuntz this morning. Can you tell us a little bit about ToolingU SME? I know this is a family connection for you that goes back a while.
Yeah, so I was originally one of the founders of what we called ToolingU back in the day. And about 10 years ago, when SME acquired what we called ToolingU, now go to market as ToolingU SME, I oversee our day-to-day operations. So we do all types of workforce development solutions for industry as well as for education. We're in lots of high schools, community colleges, lots of companies. So automotive, aerospace, defense, medical, oil and gas, really from the small mom and pop businesses to the largest companies in the world using our solutions.
And that's tremendous, right? I mean, because you're talking about true, deep, and rich engagement with the manufacturing industry.
Yep.
One of the things, and obviously SME, being one of the founding members of America Makes,
Yep.
back about 10 years ago, right? 10th anniversary, 10th birthday here at America Makes, 90 years for SME, 100 years total, you know, driving the industry forward. We know Rapid's 30 years old, all those kind of great things. And so, you know, we've been fortunate to have a great opportunity to work together over the last probably, 2-3 years.
Yep.
In a manufacturing engineering education program that built a number of e-learning resources and those kind of things across not only additive manufacturing, but across the Industry 4.0 realm.
Yep.
And those kind of things. And one of the things that Janine and I talked about a lot this morning was, you know, just the opportunity to scale and your reach as an organization, right? Because America Makes, you know, our mission, you know, though K to Gray is to widen the funnel and bring more people to the party, you know, so to speak, right? And then really to align and map that so that we can get them over to your organization to say, okay, now we have some deep dive training. We have folks that focus on this, work on it every day, and those kind of things. And so it's been a pleasure to work with you, you know, throughout that project as well. And you know, can you share a little bit about, you know, as we went through that process and how that's really, you know, engaged your team, your organization, and reach into the manufacturing sector?
Yeah, I think one of the keys to that project, why it was such a success, was the great committee that we had. We had that great committee that was representing industry, government, education, really identifying what were those knowledge and skills that were needed in today's manufacturers and what was the gap between our current offering that we had. A lot of what we heard from those manufacturers, what they were missing, why they weren't adapting smart manufacturing, Industry 4.0, was that awareness level. They needed to build that awareness level, so that's a lot of the curriculum that we built. We built the e-learning classes that you referenced. It also allowed us to update our certifications, our T program, our E program. What are those knowledge and skills that people need out in the workforce today that our certifications didn't have? So that committee was a great part of being able to really shape what's needed out there, and that connection between industry, education, and government really made the deliverables what they are.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's a critical step, right? I mean, voice of industry, voice of defense is critical to this stuff, right? Because we want to make sure that those competencies, those knowledge, skills, and abilities are exactly what's needed by industry, right? We see a lot of new technology here. We see a lot of new software, a lot of new materials, and so being able to keep up with that in one sense, but also being able to respond to it, right?
Yeah.
And so in saying that, you know, one of the things that, you know, we really focused on as we went through that project, you know, and when we rewind the clock a little bit, we go back to 2013, right? And ToolingU SME was at the table, you know, obviously America Makes at the table when we developed the first additive manufacturing body of knowledge. One of the really cool pieces is, you know, ToolingU SME, America Makes, you know, we stand here, you know, kind of locked in arms to make sure this stuff drives forward. And it drives forward in a big way, and so that body of knowledge is, again, continuing to be refreshed and added to, and with that that group, and I know that you're all continuing to drive forward through a number of programs, you know, and continue to do that. Some exciting new things coming down the road in new approaches, right? America Makes, you know, we always say we'll meet every learner how they learn, where they learn. Yeah. You're all, you know, a shining example of, you know, kind of how is workforce development different today? How is training different? How do we tweak those processes? And can you talk a little bit about where you're going?
Yeah, sure. So, as we were talking about earlier, one part of a total solution is the content, right? The topics that you're creating. So hydraulics, pneumatics, PLCs, Industry 4.0, smart manufacturing. But just as important as the topics that you're creating is also the delivery technology for the content. So 10 years ago, when we were just starting, delivering online learning, it was delivered primarily through desktop, laptop computers. Then about 5 years ago, it was delivered through mobile and tablet-based devices. Now we're seeing all types of XR solutions, so augmented reality, mixed reality, virtual reality. So our new program that we're rolling out right now in a couple months here is all using virtual reality. So where a student will be able to go in and learn the foundational material in e-learning. So maybe you're learning about how to read a blueprint, you're learning about GD&T, you're learning about inspection, you're learning about quality, lean, safety. And now can you take all those individual topics and now practice it in a virtual reality environment? So you practice that in a VR environment. Obviously the VR is much safer. If you're going to crash a machine, crash it in VR, don't crash it on the plant floor. And that allows you then that much higher level when you actually go out on the plant floor, and then prepares you for when you do that hands-on portion of the training. We're seeing that next generation, it's really appealing to them, the full immersion environment, as well as they're able to faster time to competency with far greater retention rates.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, we're in 2022 right now. I have to pause because I missed years for COVID. But I mean, when we look at 2022 and how students learn, right? I mean, and having that opportunity to almost, make it more video game-like makes it a little more comfortable, right? It's breaking some of that even awareness barrier or some of that perception of the technology, I think, as well, which is critical. And we're working on what we're calling the Guide to 21st Century Talent. It's really talking about how do small and medium manufacturers really tackle the talent problem, right? And it's really a compilation of best practices, and it's a local tool and those kind of things. Obviously celebrating a lot of the work that you're all doing and some things we've done in the past together. And so, I mean, what's next? What are we gonna see coming out of ToolingU SME in the next year or 2 years?
Yeah, so our content library is going to continue to go higher, wider, deeper, so expanding into new content areas, also going deeper into some of our current topics, also continuously updating our topics. A lot of our shop math classes and our blueprint reading classes, a lot doesn't change there, but with this additive technology, smart manufacturing, it's very fluid, so always keeping the content up to date. I mentioned virtual reality, we're looking at augmented reality, mixed reality, we're looking at some pretty cool things using AI to now leverage all this data that we are collecting and being able to customize it specifically for the learner. So our content's going to continue to update, as well as all of our delivery technologies for that content.
That's awesome, and I want to just chat one kind of personal side of thing, right? I mean, obviously the family has dedication to workforce development, but specifically some workforce development with those that have differing abilities too. I think is a critical piece, and it's always something that's been really close to me personally. Can you share a little bit about what you all do there?
Yeah, so part of our family business is a manufacturing company, and they're using, part of their supply chain, their workforce supply chain is going to different types of populations, not the traditional students. So they use, they're partnering with local, not only community colleges, but some of the local, the prison systems, being able to bring in people that second chance individuals to bring them into the workforce, as well as looking at people that have different types of disabilities to bring them in. And particularly, they're doing a program with autistic kids, and it's a very, very rewarding program, both for the student as well as for the organization.
It's terrific, and I think it speaks not only to work that you're doing every day, but the passion and the heart behind it, right? Which is true of so many in the manufacturing industry. I certainly appreciate that, and we appreciate you. I like to always end these with a little gift. So we got a cup with some, hopefully you fill that with some cold lemonade.
Very good.
I know you're a note taker for many years, and see the big whiteboard in the office. There's a America Makes Luggage tag for when you join us for MMX. I'm really excited to have you here. And thanks for everything you're doing.
Great, thank you so much for a great partnership, Josh. Look forward to many more years.
Absolutely, thanks, Chad.
Thank you.